So today, guys, a very special video, one that we've been saying we would do for a long time, but unfortunately really haven't had the opportunity to get to. So today we're going to give you a quick rundown on how to care for some of your top-level boots here. Obviously the lessons apply to lower-level boots as well, but the results tend to be a little bit less so in those versions. So first of all, we have just kind of the essentials for the video, give you a quick rundown of ingredients. Synthetic boots, the Mercurial Vapor 7s. Leather boots, Galeo specifically, the F50 Adizeros in the anodized blue slime white colorway. And then over here we have a couple more items. Some worn boots, well worn, in case you couldn't see. And then over here we have glove wash from Reusch. Awesome quality stuff. Does a great job. Over here we have paper, just regular old balled up paper. In your case, probably something more like newspaper. And right here, worth its weight in gold, silica gel. Like it says, do not eat it. However, ignore the throwaway part. Keep it. So, basically, just a quick rundown. We're going to go over, kind of show you some results we have over here. And then also on the right side, we're going to show you how to care for both synthetic and leather boots. So we'll start with some leather ones. We'll give you some for instances, that sort of thing, and what to do in those particular cases. So the Adizero, probably not the 100% best choice for a shoe to use on this one, but we'll show you how to do it anyway. It comes with leather balsam and a little cleaning rag right there. So that one's kind of, give us a little head start on what it is that we need to show you here. So first of all, the Adizero is not all leather. The majority of the upper is leather. However, you're going to find once you get past this seam and once you get past this seam, this is a softer synthetic material. Not a huge deal, but it obviously makes caring for them a little bit different. You don't have to worry so much about the midfoot of the shoe on this one when you're treating it. So we'll give you a couple instances. First of all, so these are obviously right out of the box. They're brand new, never been worn. These ones have never even been tried on for that matter, but the idea is when they're right out of the box, obviously you're going to go through some growing pains. It may very well be that, when you're breaking them in, that say for instance the sizing isn't 100% quite right, or perhaps you're running on them harder so they wear quicker, they don't break in as capably, whatever the instance may be. When you're getting a shoe right out of the box, obviously breaking them in is an important step. One of the ways you can really help with a pair of natural leather boots, breaking them in, is this stuff, this leather balsam. The stuff really does make a big difference when it comes to, kind of getting that upper to feel just right. But that's really, that's not a huge priority to start with. Your biggest thing when you're first wearing them in is you want to make sure that you're not going full bore in crappy weather or something like that, and really kind of damaging the upper before you get a chance to even break it in. So yeah, anyway, here's your leather balsam, little cleaning rag. It does give you instructions on how to use it right in there. This little pamphlet here, but you don't have to worry about that. We'll show you how to do it anyway. So, what's in here is, as we say, just like a little bit of leather balsam. There's not a lot, but you can always get leather food or boot brew or whatever you prefer. But basically it's, semi-gelatinous. It absorbs nicely into the upper material on these cleats. What you need to do is, after you've worn them a couple of times, when you're first breaking them in, take them out for a couple of training sessions, one or two preferably, and that's when you're going to start treating them with that leather balsam. Make sure when you're treating them, it is after a training period, but after they're dry as well. So you're not going to rush right into things. You want to wait until they're not as moist as they would be when you're done, sweating through them and things like that. But your first order of business, when you first get the shoe, to really assist in that break-in period, say, for instance, you've got your shoe, you've tried it on, you've worn it once, it feels like the right size, you are going to take paper, such as this, be it newspaper, whatever, you're going to take some of that, you're going to head right into your bathroom, you're going to fill up your tub with some nice hot water, or just turn on the shower, same drill, and stick these bad boys on your feet. You are going to submerge them. This would really work with either synthetic or leather shoes, But what you want to do to really get them broken in just nicely to your foot is stick these on, wear them in nice hot water, and make sure they are submerged. So you're going to get your whole foot into that hot water. You're going to wear them for a little bit after they're wet, kind of take them out. Once you're sure they're 100% sure that they are yours and you don't need to return them and they're the right size and all that good stuff, stick them in the water, get out. You're going to take the shoe, you're going to pack it with paper like this. Newspaper is what most people use. There's already paper in there, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, but make sure that forefoot is packed to capacity. You want it to strain just a little bit. You don't want to stretch the seams too much, but strain it just a little bit with that newspaper. And another thing you want to do is when you're packing the paper, take these bad boys right here, this desiccant silica gel. You are going to put the desiccant on the outside of the paper like this. So you just stick it right inside the shoe. Easy as can be. Obviously a little more challenging with one hand, but nevertheless. So you take the paper, you're going to stash it in the shoe, put the desiccant right on top of the paper when you do that, and then pack the shoe nice and full right through the front of the shoe. And what's going to happen is you're going to get, first of all, that shoe is going to dry out pretty quick. It's not going to be immediate, obviously, but you're going to shave a good 2-3 hours off the drying time with that desiccant in there. And you're going to find that shoe is going to just mold. It's going to stick right to your foot. Now, most leather shoes have a really good stretch to them. Most of them do. Some leathers, like calfskin and things like that, don't tend to stretch quite as much. But if you're wearing a leather like this one, like Galeo or Kangaroo or something like that, feel free and go ahead and just, absolutely get them snug. Get them nice and tight. See, take a look at these two uppers right here. This upper on that shoe used to look like this upper. Now look how much wider it is. See how much that shoe stretched right there? It looks like a completely different shoe. This is the earlier body style of the Adizero, but nevertheless, it is still, they were both pretty similar as far as width is concerned. Certainly, this one did not start nearly as wide as it is now. It looked a lot more like this one. But as you can see just from the bird's eye view, there's definitely a pretty big difference there. But anyway, the reason why I actually brought these out is because I wanted to give you a good example of what a shoe looks like when it's been cared for properly, and subsequently, what it looks like once you're done with it. So this thing has been worn for a solid year. It's the same Galeo leather as this shoe over here. This thing's been worn for a year, and it looks terrific. The leather is nice and soft and supple. And as you can see here, there was a little bit of a trouble with the upper, but it took a full year to get to just that little bit of ripping. The rest of the shoe is absolutely terrific. Studs are all intact, shorter obviously, but nevertheless intact. And the sock liner, while the graphics have rubbed off, is still nice and supple. It's got a good wear to it. So that is what you can get out of a pair of really good quality boots. You can get a full year's use out of them as long as you take care of them. This one has been treated with leather balsam. It's been stored away from heat, which is absolutely essential, and in an area that is not in direct sunlight, and it's nice and open. So that is obviously the big win when it comes to leather, is make sure that it's not near a heat source and make sure that it's stored out in the open so that it can air out. Another thing for parents to remember when you're caring for cleats, or when you're having your son or daughter care for a pair of cleats, these sock liners, the sock liners in the majority of good quality shoes are removable. So what you want to do is, when this shoe starts to really, really stink, remove this sock liner and give it a good wash right in your washing machine. You don't need to, you're obviously not going to tumble dry it, but definitely stick it right in your washer and see the difference it makes once you start wearing that shoe again. It definitely affects that smell. We'll get to the synthetics in round 2 here, but everything else here is kind of self-explanatory. When it comes to leather, again, these are the key points you want to take away from this. When you're done training, when you're breaking them in, you're done training, the shoe's nice and dry, treat them with a leather balsam. All you're going to do is take that goopy stuff, the semi-gelatinous material there. Usually, a lot of people use leather food or boot brew or something like that. Just get it on your rag like this. You're going to rub it right into the leather. Be brisk, but don't be too rough. And then when you're done, just use the edge of it and clean out these seams right along where the upper meets the outsole. Clean each one of these seams right in here. You'll see this spot right here. Clean out that seam right there pretty well with the edge of your little brush here. And you're going to find that you can not only extend the life of the leather, but you'll get a better stretch, a better break-in, everything on those ones. When you're drying them, or when they're not in use, keep them away from heat, keep them out of the sun, and make sure they're in a nice open, airy spot. And you're going to go ahead and get a good long life out of your shoes. And, it's basically kind of get your money's worth when it comes to that sort of thing. This guy right here paid $180 for his cleats a year ago. He can still wear them today if he wants. But he decided, and Adidas decided, that this was just too much to have to deal with, so he went ahead and got himself a new pair. Nevertheless, these shoes right here are absolutely worth just bang for your buck, no question. You get a full 365 days and then come back and get a new pair. But anyway, synthetics coming up, so stay tuned, and we'll show you how you can clean those ones and definitely take care of them as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys.